words of our Lord Sri Aurobindo. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says the aim of integral yoga being union, its beginning must always be a seeking after the divine, a longing after some kind of touch, closeness, or possession. When this comes on us, the adoration becomes always primarily an inner worship. We begin to make ourselves a temple of the divine. With always our love and blessings, says our Lord Sri Aurobindo. Sri Aurobindo's Savitri, Book 1, The Book of Beginnings, Canto 4, The Secret Knowledge, page 63, last line. A consciousness that knows not its own truth, a vagrant hunter of misleading dawns, between the being's dark and luminous ends, moves here in a half-light that seems the whole. An interregnum in reality cuts off the integral thought, the total power. It circles or stands in a vague interspace, doubtful of its beginnings and its close, or runs upon a road that has no end. Far from the original task, the final flame, in some huge void inconscience, it lives. Like a thought persisting in a wide emptiness, as if an unintelligible phrase suggested a million renderings to the mind, it lends a purport to the random world. A conjecture leaning upon doubtful proofs, a message misunderstood, a thought confused, missing its aim, is all that it can speak, or a fragment of the universal word. It leaves two giant letters void of sense, while without sanction turns the middle sign, carrying an enigmatic universe, as if a present without future or past, repeating the same revolution's reel, turned on its axis in its own inane. Thus is the meaning of creation veiled, for without context reads the cosmic page, its signs stare at us like an unknown script, as if appeared screened by a foreign tongue, or code of splendor, signs without a key, a portion of a parable sublime. It wears to the perishable creature's eyes the grandeur of a useless miracle, wasting itself that it may last a while, a river that can never find its sea. It runs through life and death on an edge of time. A fire in the night is its mighty actions blaze. Words of our Lord Sri Aurobindo, taken from the collective works of our Lord Sri Aurobindo SABCL, Volume 22, page 438, Psychic Being. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, the pure self is unborn, does not pass through death or birth, is independent of birth or body, mind or life, or this manifested nature. It is not bound by these things, not limited nor affected, even though it assumes and supports them. The soul, on the contrary, is something that comes down into birth and passes through death, although it does not itself die, for it is immortal. From one state to another, from the earth plane to other planes, and back again to the earth existence. It goes on with this progression from life to life through an evolution which leads it up to the human state and evolves through it all a being of itself which we call the psychic being that supports the evolution and develops a physical, vital, mental, human consciousness as its instruments of world experience and of a disguised, imperfect, but growing self-expression. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says all this it does from behind a veil, showing something of its divine self only in so far as the imperfection of the instrumental being will allow it. But a time comes when it is able to prepare to come out from behind the veil, to take command and turn all the instrumental nature towards a divine fulfillment. This is the beginning of the true spiritual life, says our Lord. The soul is able now to make itself ready for a higher evolution of manifested consciousness than the mental human. It can pass from mental to the spiritual through degrees of the spiritual to the supramental state. Till then, there is no reason why it should cease from birth. It cannot, in fact, do so. If, having reached the spiritual state, it wills to pass out of the terrestrial manifestation, it may indeed do so, but there is also possible a higher manifestation in the knowledge and not in the ignorance. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says the center of the psychic being is behind the center of the emotional being. It is the emotional that is nearest dynamically to the psychic, and in most men it is through the emotional center that the psychic can be most easily reached, and through the psychicized emotion it can be most easily expressed. Many therefore mistake the one for the other, but there is a world of difference between the two. The emotions normally are vital in character, not part of the psychic nature. The psychic being and the divine presence in the heart are quite different things. The psychic being is one's own individual soul being. It is not the divine, though it has come from the divine and develops towards the divine, says our Lord Sri Aurobindo. Words of our Divine Mother, taken from the Collective Works of Our Divine Mother, Volume 12, page 32. Topic: Advice to the Aspirants. Our Divine Mother says the discovery is a personal matter, and a great determination, a strong will, and an untiring perseverance are indispensable to reach the goal. Each one must, so to say, trace out his own path through his own difficulties. The goal is to know to some extent. Most of those who have reached it have described it more or less clearly, but the supreme value of the discovery lies in its spontaneity, its ingenuousness, and that escapes all ordinary mental laws. And that is why anyone wanting to take up the adventure usually first seeks out some person who has successfully undertaken it and is able to sustain him and enlighten him on his way. Yet, there are some solitary travelers, and for them, a few general indications may be useful. Our Divine Mother says the starting point is to seek in yourself that which is independent of the body and the circumstances of life, which is not born of the mental formation that you have been given, the language you speak, the habits and customs of the environment in which you live, the country where you are born, or the age to which you belong. You must find in the depths of your being that which carries it in it a sense of universality, limitless expansion, unbroken continuity. Then you decentralize, extend, and widen yourself. You begin to live in all things and in all beings. The barriers separating individuals from each other break down. You think in their thoughts, vibrate in their sensations, feel in their feelings, live in the life of all. What seemed inert suddenly becomes full of life. Stones quicken, plants feel and will and suffer. Animals speak in a language more or less inarticulate but clear and expressive. Everything is animated by a marvelous consciousness without time or limit. And this is only one aspect of the psychic realization, says our Divine Mother. There are others, many others. All help you to go beyond the barriers of your egoism, the walls of your external personality, the importance of your reactions, and the incapacity of your will. But as I've already said, the path to that realization is long and difficult, strewn with snares and problems to be solved, which demand an unfailing determination. It is like the explorer's trek through virgin forests in quest of an unknown land, of some great discovery. The psychic being is also a great discovery which requires at least as much attitude and endurance as the discovery of new continents. A few simple words of advice may be useful to one who have resolved to undertake it. The first and perhaps the most important point is that the mind is incapable of judging spiritual things. All those who have written on the subject have said so, but very few are those who put it into practice. In order to proceed on the path, it is absolutely indispensable to abstain from all mental opinion and reaction. Our Divine Mother says, give up all personal seeking for comfort, satisfaction, enjoyment, or happiness. Be only a burning fire for progress. Take whatever comes to you as an aid to your progress and immediately make whatever progress is required. Try to take pleasure in all you do, but never do anything for the sake of pleasure. Never get excited, nervous, or agitated. Remain perfectly calm in the face of all circumstances, and yet be always alert to discover what progress you still have to make and lose no time in making it. Never take physical happenings at their face value. Never take physical happenings at their face value. They are always a clumsy attempt to express something else, the true thing which escapes our superficial understanding. Never complain of the behavior of anyone unless you have the power to change in his nature what makes him act in that way. If you have the power, change him instead of complaining. Our Divine Mother says, whatever you do, never forget the goal which you have set before you. There is nothing great or small once you have set out on this great discovery. All things are equally important, can either hasten or delay its success. Thus, before you eat, concentrate a few seconds in the aspiration that the food you're about to eat may bring your body the substance it needs to serve as a solid basis for your effort towards the great discovery, and give it the energy for persistence and perseverance in the effort. Before you sleep, concentrate a few seconds in the aspiration that the sleep may restore your fatigued nerves, bring calm and quietness to your brain, so that on waking you may, with renewed vigor, begin your journey on the path of the great discovery. Before you act, concentrate in the will that your action may help or at least in no way hinder your march forward towards a great discovery. When you speak, before the words come out of your mouth, concentrate just long enough to check your words, allow only those that are absolutely necessary to pass, only those that are not in any way harmful to your progress on the path of the great discovery. To sum up, says our Divine Mother, never forget the purpose and goal of your life. The will for the great discovery should always be there before you, above what you do and what you are, like a huge bird of light dominating all moments of your body and your being, says our Divine Mother.